So we're going to have a blockbuster, Vidya. We've had a phenomenal response to our joining in links.
Really?
Yes,
Great.
and because we started this whole handloom movement also. Not
Yeah.
that we're going to be talking about handloom much, but like,
Yeah.
you're one epitome of.
Right.
It was very sweet of Siddharth to agree, and it would have been
Well, I
wonderful
think
if both of you would have come together.
I know, but I just said yes to this, and I had no clue. Then Arshia got in touch with Siddharth, and he said, "I'm doing this." So I said, "Great." I don't think he could have refused Arshia anyway.
That's what
They're
I got.
college buddies.
Yeah, that's what she said, that she cannot refuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
She actually convinced him in 10 minutes. We were together.
Amazing. Ruchi, are you trying to say something? You're on mute.
Okay, we are on live, so we'll
Oh,
start.
great.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing screen now.
We'll just play a video of the sponsor.
Yes.
He's actually creating a handloom museum in Bangalore. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, and she's a member too of Wikiflow. So, we try to empower our members as much as possible.
Right.
Good evening, everybody. On the eve of our Independence Day, we have someone who totally epitomizes Indian woman in her empowerment. Every role she has given us in Bollywood empowers women in different levels from their situations. Vidya, we are very, very happy to have you in the Bangalore chapter today. And
Thank you.
we're really looking forward to hearing your inspirational story. But I wanted to share with you that Wikiflow Pan India has started a handloom movement, and we are giving a lot of impetus to creative dignity. And I thought, who better than you, who wears the sari even to a Khan. So I would love to hear your love for saris and handloom. If we could begin our thing with this question.
Yes. Firstly, thank you very much for having invited me. I'm looking forward to this interaction. I just want to give a shout out to, Arshia and Manjari. I'm sure they've also joined us here. Um, you know, when I think of my love for saris, I actually have a picture of myself from the age of 5 when I had a sari draped around me. I guess I was wearing one of my mother's saris. The saris always fascinated me. I think because all the women in my life wore saris. You know, my mother only wore saris while I was growing up, and she wore simple cotton saris. So I think even though I didn't know the difference between handloom, or a hand woven sari versus a machine product, I think instinctively I get drawn to hand woven saris and fabrics. I think that's where my love began. My idea of beauty is really a woman in a simple cotton sari, with literally minimal makeup, and um, women of various, women of all kinds. I mean, different. I've seen. I feel like everyone looks beautiful in a sari. And this is not just a statement, but I feel the sari embraces you. You know, we all try to get into various, even a salwar kameez or a gown or dresses or jeans. The sari actually, you don't have to get into it. The sari embraces you. So I think it's a very accepting garment. I love that about it. I think it's a very versatile garment. You know, it can be sexy, it can be powerful, it can be very elegant, it can be whatever you want it to be. So I think that's where it all began. As a child, when I look at women, of all kinds of women in my life, wear the sari and wear it differently and for different occasions, I think I just feel that it's the most beautiful garment ever.
No, thanks a lot, Vidya. And we are like so touched because your last two movies have been so Bangalore centric, and both so in saris. You know, sari was like a prop in the movie for both the ISRO, where we know there are so many women scientists, and of course Shakuntala Devi. You know, even Kahani, I think your sari was more like a prop. You know, so I mean, we are very very honored to have you today, and.
Thank you.
No, the theme for my year is write your own stories from ordinary to extraordinary. And I think that's why you're one of the person I really wanted to get you to this Bangalore platform, because I feel why be average when you can be iconic and you can create your own, following. And there's so many women out here who are looking up to you. Ruchi, can you go FB live? I think it's not happening on FB live. Ruchi, can you please Pile and Ruchi, can you start the FB live because they're
Yeah,
all asking for Vidya?
it started now.
Yeah, because everybody is writing into me, they cannot see Vidya, and
Yes.
there are a whole lot of people on FB live Vidya who are waiting to hear you, your
Right.
journey. And we have one of our past chairs from Bangalore, Namrita Ji, who's going to be moderating the session today.
That's right.
You, Namrita.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Hi.
Vidya, hi. Oh my God. Ordinary to extraordinary. I don't think we could have thought of anyone better.
Oh my God, thank you.
This day for me is memorable. And trust me, I watched Shakuntala Devi and I really don't know what to say. I was speechless because I had met her in person as well. And seeing you in that role just took me to another level and took you to another level in my mind.
Oh, wow.
Respect. And what I love about you, Vidya, is your humility, your grace, and what I've been reading about you. I'm so inspired. So let's
Thank
begin.
you.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's waiting. And I know for sure that after this conversation, nobody's going to go back the same. That's for sure. So, in life, you don't get what you want, you get what you believe in. And I have seen that you have immense belief in yourself, your authenticity for one. In this competitive atmosphere, you have.
Yeah. It's showing error. I tried.
I'd like to know exactly what are the challenges you face and how your belief has helped you overcome each of them. You've raised yourself you've taken yourself to a huge bar, and then again, your belief takes you higher. Please share your journey with all of us.
You know, I think the credit for that really goes to my parents. Um, we're just two girls, my elder sister Priya and me, and we've been brought up with every freedom. we've been brought up to believe that, you know, if you really want something, you must work hard towards it, and then the world is your oyster. You know, you can literally conquer the world. And I think we've been brought up to believe that the world is a safe place, that it's a fair place, that, you know, the universe really has your back.
Wow.
And this, despite the fact that, you know, my father's family, for example, when my father was very little, he lost his father when he was 8 years old.
Oh.
And their family got cheated of all their property overnight by an extended family member, and they were reduced to penury. But they worked hard and, you know, went through years of struggle. But today, by God's grace, you know, all the siblings are doing very well. But what, and so are their children. But you know what I find amazing is that while they could have been very bitter about the hand that God dealt to them, they took it in their stride and decided to overcome every obstacle and just take life head on.
Wow.
You know, it couldn't have been easy, but I think that's where, and my mother is a person with a lot of compassion. So I think our worldview is informed by our upbringing.
Wow.
And while I'm sure, I know I have lots of limitations and shortcomings and, you know, maybe faults and flaws, I think I'm still able to move ahead because of my belief both in myself and in the universe being a kind place. I think that's very important, you know, because sometimes when there's a mismatch between that, you feel like I'm capable or I can achieve whatever I want to, but the world is not a nice place, and they're not going to support me in the achievement of my dreams. But because I had both, I think, you know, I am here speaking to you today.
Oh my God. You know, I'm such an advocate of the universe has my back. I believe in that strongly.
Oh, wow.
Share with us a time in the movies where you felt that, you know, I won't be able to overcome this, and you actually did it.
You know, at the very beginning, actually, even before I became an actor, I was doing lots of ad films, and I got an opportunity to audition for a Malayalam film, and I got through. My parents, we don't come from a film family at all, or, you know, we're not in any way connected to the arts, forget films. So my parents were very worried. I remember my parents' sister and I went to meet the director because they just wanted to suss it out. You know, you had heard that it's the big bad world of films. But when they met the director, they felt reassured that, you know, what my mother said to me when we came out. She said, "Oh, he looks like an educated man." Trust that to come from a South Indian, you know.
Absolutely, and
Because,
especially a Tamilian.
yeah, exactly, because everything has to do with education and academics.
Absolutely.
So they had spread that there was this newcomer, and I guess they must have said nice things because I got offered many Malayalam films. I got I got offered and then confirmed for about 7-8 films. But when this first film got shelved, slowly I got replaced in each one of them.
Wow.
Then I went down, and then I went to, I got an offer in the Tamil film industry. I went there and I opted out of the film because it felt like a sex comedy, and that was not what I had signed up for. And then another film I was doing I got thrown out of another Tamil film I was doing. So almost a dozen films I got either replaced or unceremoniously replaced in almost a dozen films. And I think my confidence was at its lowest at that point.
Yeah,
I was wondering whether, you know, I had it in me to be an actor, whether it was even worth, you know, really hoping that this dream would materialize at some point. But I don't think it's any one, Namrata. I think at various points in life, again in 2007, 8, I went through a period where I felt like maybe I was already in films. I'd had a spate of successes, and then I did a couple of films back to back, like Hey Baby and Kismet Connection, for which I got criticized very heavily for both my weight and my dressing. And suddenly I was feeling really low. I felt like, you know, nothing. what I had done before this really didn't matter. It just came down to the clothes I was wearing, and I didn't quite understand that. I've never been someone who's fashion conscious, or I've never understood fashion. And suddenly everything about me seemed to be a problem.
Oh,
I think that was another time when I felt like maybe, I need to look at something else.
all
But,
right.
Namrata, I have to say that I feel so grateful for my resilience and my faith, because I would go to sleep crying, but the next day I'd
Wow.
wake up and say, no, I'll give it another day, just another day. And this would keep going on and on and on. And, then suddenly things began to change.
At this point, I have a very nice thing I've read about you. I read that you have conversations with God. Tell me a little about it, because I think, what I can experience at this point in time is how close you would have got to God at that time and how you would have got this new relationship with Him. So, can you share with us what is the secret that you have up your sleeve?
I really, growing up, I have to say that, my mother used to send me to the temple every day. I
Okay.
think I was about 9 years old, and we'd had a life-changing, we'd been through a life-changing situation. My father had a massive heart attack, and we almost lost him, but thank you God we didn't. So after that, I think my mother and that was obviously taking a toll on me, because I couldn't quite process what was happening. I was having nightmares on a regular basis, so she started telling me that she
Hello.
would go to the temple every day, and
Okay.
that was the
Hi,
beginning of my
Baljeet. How are
relationship with
you?
God.
Oh,
I think
wow.
someone's
Hello, Baljeet.
Yeah, someone needs to go mute. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
someone.
good. I'm good. बोलिए.
Jyotika, can the
Yeah,
host mute all?
Yeah, can
हाँ?
somebody please keep your phones on mute, girls.
नहीं, क्लब
Please.
तो बंद है ना सब बल्कि.
Oh my God. So sorry about this.
No problem.
हाँ,
We
बल्कि.
had a beyond our
Yeah,
capacity,
बताइए.
people on call as well.
कैसे आप? How are you
Amita,
feeling?
can you please mute yourself?
Oh, so sorry for this disruption.
No problem at
But
all.
I think this conversation is so intense. Please do share with me your relationship with God. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it's damn important.
No, and so that's when I started going to the temple, and it was a chore. I was
Okay.
like, my mom sending me to the temple every day. How is this going to solve anything?
Right.
But then I went through a phase of being obsessed with going to the temple every day. But as I started, I guess as you grow up, things change. My relationship with God, my understanding of God changed, it evolved. Today, I can be sitting anywhere. I don't have to really even verbalize a prayer. I stay in silence for a few moments, and I think that itself communicates. I don't know, for people who believe it's God, otherwise I like to use the word universe these days, because
Yeah.
it's my understanding today is that it's one and the same. And then at some point, from being, like I said, obsessed with visiting the temple, a church, a gurdwara, whatever place of worship I could, and asking, it
Correct.
changed to just saying thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I began to say thank you, and I realized that life gave me many more reasons to say thank you.
Say
And
thank
like
you.
I said, yeah, and today I don't really, it's only still a thank you, and I don't even actively pray anymore. It's just that moment of silence. I think I see God in various forms, in people, all the time today. Even when someone is not being pleasant, or someone is not being nice, I feel that it's to show me something. So my relationship, my conversations with God are of a different nature today.
I think this is so fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this
No,
precious.
my pleasure. You have to know, Namrata, you just need to trigger me, and I can just go on and on and on. But we have 1 hour, so please feel free to just move on to the next
I
question.
am.
Otherwise,
But I'm just
I'm
loving this. I'm loving this.
unstoppable.
I also feel that you've taken these initial steps where you spoke to us about the Malayalam and the Tamil space. And then, of course, those little steps moved into bigger leaps and then much bigger leaps. All right. Now, which is the role that you thought would be the most difficult to play and you didn't even know whether you do justice to it, but turned out to be your most successful one and you enjoyed it the most? Okay, that's one question. The other is, which is a role that you really are aspirational that you want to play, something in your heart that you must do. And third, who's the director that you think you would like to work with and why?
Okay, I'll start. I'll go backwards. So the
Sure.
director I'd love to work with is Woody Allen. I
Wow.
absolutely dig his films, and
That has to.
thank you. So I'll put it out to the universe. If that happens, we'll do another webinar, and I'll share the good news with you.
I would look forward to that.
Thank you. I'm forcing myself upon you all now. But if that does happen, I promise to force myself upon you all to share this news. As far as there are also directors in India, honestly. But like Gulzar Saab is someone have always wanted to work with, but he decided not to direct films a few decades ago, and that's really unfortunate. But amongst the current crop of directors, there are almost every second director. I'm very greedy. I want to also work with all those I've already worked with, and worked with those who I haven't worked with yet. About the role, I think I'd love to play Indira Gandhi. That is a dream, because when I think of a powerful woman, that's the first image. Hers is the first face that pops into my head. So it is a dream, and I hope it materializes someday. Because
I'm going to say Tathastu again.
Thank you. Because hers is a very expansive life, and it would take more than a movie to tell her story. So let's hope that works out. And coming to the third question, it's a very difficult question, because whichever film I'm doing, I feel like that's the toughest character I've played or I'm playing. But I will say that Silk in the Dirty Picture was probably who I shared least similarities with.
Okay.
So she and I are very different people, and therefore her approach to life, we're just very different people. So that probably felt like the most challenging until then. And today I'd say it's Shakuntala Devi that because she had a really complex, complicated, she was complex and complicated, only because it was not easy to define her in ways that we, boxed women into stereotypes. She was neither your vamp, nor was she a Sati Savitri. She was,
and she had that yearning for her daughter. It was such a mixed, she didn't know what was her Swadharma and where does she want to go. There was a lot of confusion in that.
Yeah, she was so many things rolled into one.
And you give it your all, Vidya. I started seeing the movie, I just could not get off till it got over.
Really?
And I tell you something, I really want to know, what is the effort you took? How much research did you put into it? How did you really become the character? Because you really became the character.
Thank you. I had a fantastic director who held me all the way, Anu Menon. So I think also the script is the best foundation for everything on a film.
Correct.
So I think it's a very well written script written by 3 women, Anu Menon, Nanika Mehthani, and Ishita Moitra. So I think they're, they captured the essence of Shakuntala beautifully in the script. So that itself was half my job done. And then, of course, conversations with Anu Menon, and then listening to tapes which had conversations between Anu Menon, the director, and Shakuntala Devi's daughter, Anupama Banerjee, and son-in-law, Ajay. Those really helped to get a sense of who she was as a person, not just as a genius. Then, of course, watching her YouTube videos, various shows she's done, reading about her, all of that. And, of course, I also worked on getting a slight South Indian accent.
It was evident. It was evident. It was beautiful.
Thank you. So I think this is the preparation that it entailed. But it was really the director all the way.
Wow. That's really awesome, huh? I'm so inspired by you, getting more and more inspired every minute.
Wow, you're
The
too
new way
kind.
of
Thank you.
communication with your fans and with your audiences has now become the social media, the internet, right? And I did a little study and I see you're quite out there, all right? So how do you communicate with them? What is your message you give out? And what are the tools you use to really go out there and say what you have to say? How expressive are you on social media? And how much time do you give it?
I don't really give it time. Social media is, I use social media for work really,
Okay.
um, because I'm required to post
Yes,
a lot of work related stuff.
absolutely.
But otherwise, on a personal level, I'm a very reluctant social media user.
All right.
I guard my privacy very ferociously, and I'm also married to someone, Siddharth, who's
Yes.
a very private person, and I respect that. And your lines get blurred very easily.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm very, I also my family, like I said, is not a film family. So again, one treads very cautiously so that at no point do my loved ones feel like their privacy has been invaded.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Any special app that you can't do without?
that I can't do without? No, but I love Instagram. I
Okay.
love posting on Instagram, even if it's work related stuff, because I'm not much of a reader and I find it tedious to read long posts, but I
Yeah.
like watching, just skimming through pictures. So Instagram is the app for me.
Fantastic. You've also done great amount of work towards women's empowerment. I mean, you've painted that canvas of yours so beautifully. Your heart is in everything that you do. And I mean, it's I think it's God's grace that you have been given that you're the instrument to help that. I'd like to know exactly what you really are doing and how do you plan to impact women going further? How do you plan to paint their lives?
Honestly, Namrita, I've said this before, and I feel it very strongly that the only cause that I espouse is me. The only person I'm trying to empower on a regular basis is me.
Right.
Along the way, if someone finds inspiration in what I've done, for example, on screen or with something I've said, um, that is a welcome outcome. But that's not something I'm striving towards because
Okay.
I really feel that it's up to each one of us to empower ourselves. No
True.
one can do it for you. But yes, sometimes you watch something and you feel inspired. Sometimes you read something, you feel inspired. So indirectly that could happen, but that's not what I'm going towards. But I'm very glad, to be able to use my voice to bring attention to issues I feel strongly about. Because being a public figure, you can leverage that, whether you call it popularity or the fact that people know you, to get across certain messages to people.
Oh yes, because
Like,
you're the
yeah,
inspiration, so they want to do what you want to tell them to do.
right.
I think
And,
something
like
to
I'm
see.
working with Arpan, which is
Okay.
an NGO that works towards freedom from child sexual abuse.
Okay.
So, and I think they're doing fantastic work at the moment. I attach myself to various organizations or causes on a short term or long term basis, depending on what, how strongly I feel about the cause and also about how I feel that particular group of people is, how passionate they are about, you know, what they're doing.
Right.
So, yeah, but I won't claim to be doing anything to actually effect change.
All right. But I think even just doing what you're doing is has a huge impact, Vidya. And so
Thank you.
you can do it in a larger way. Okay. Now,
Right.
fashion is fashion, style is style. So just to let you know, I'm a fashion designer, and I don't know how many guests have come and told me we want the Vidya Balan choli. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I had to actually go down and research as to what is the Vidya Balan choli.
Right.
But you have managed to become a style icon, I would say, in your own style, in your own space. Okay. So can you share with us that what is your style really all about? And how do you keep going? I mean, it's fantastic the way you look and the way you carry yourself. So talk to us a little about your style.
I think, like I told you, I don't understand fashion. So maybe style is what comes to me most naturally. It's something that's very intrinsic to each one of us, it's
Yeah.
very organic. So there are things that I like. For example, like I told you, a simple cotton sari on any given day
Yeah.
would be my chosen um, outfit of the day. I just feel like um, I feel minimal uh,
Minimalism.
is my style. I feel organic, hand woven, just earthy is my style. It's
Right.
it's just an extension of my personality. It's who I am. So I don't wear things that I don't feel good in, and I veer towards these things. So I'm guessing that's what my style is.
Yeah, I mean, it's really distinct, okay? In this whole crowd of fashion and over fashion, you stood out and you stood out like an icon. And I really appreciate that about you. So keep
Thank
going
you.
and keep evolving because I'm sure as we, get deeper in our spirituality, I think we evolve in more. Like you said, minimalistic. That's obviously coming from your spiritual self. So,
Right.
I'm going to do a quick rapid fire with you because I've got lots of people waiting to ask you some interesting questions.
Great.
So, should we get started on that?
Yes, please.
Okay. And so, when there's a little squabble or a little skirmish between you and Siddharth, who gives in first?
It really depends. I won't say he gives in all the time. I won't say I give in all the time. It really, and I insist. I know, he's doing a session with y'all very soon. I
Yes.
insist y'all ask him the same question
Okay,
because
we
he
shall.
will blush crimson. If you ask him about me, he feels really shy and awkward talking about me. So please tell me what he says. But
Absolutely, we shall
yeah,
tell you that what he says. Okay, one thing you have on your bucket list.
that
On your bucket list.
on my bucket list.
Yes, one burning desire that you have.
To learn to swim.
Really?
I know it's really simple, but for someone who grew up very conscious of her body, I've
Mhm.
still not reached that stage where I can get into a swimsuit and just get into the pool.
Okay, your views on body shaming.
I think it's it's deplorable. I don't understand um, why we can't just accept ourselves the way we are. It's really
Absolutely.
unfortunate because I think that's what sets each of us apart from the other, right?
Yes.
Our face, our body, and I spent a large part of my life hating my body.
Okay.
And my body reacted very violently because I had all kinds of hormonal issues for the longest time. It was when I
Wow.
made peace with my body that my hormonal issues began to disappear. And that is actually your body telling you that you're not treating me well.
Yeah, and I think that's a strong message you're giving out to ladies and to the millennials who are so crazy about this whole body aspect. I
Yeah,
think
and I
people are
think there's
becoming one
beauty
with
in
the
it.
body.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the screens. Each one of you has, different features. Hair color is different. Skin, is different. What you are wearing is different. We should be celebrating this,
Yes, celebrate
don't
life.
you think? Just this diversity. It would be so boring to have everyone look the same body size, same length of hair, same skin color, same height. My God, a
That would be
certain
a very
bust size,
boring
a
canvas.
certain butt.
That would be a very boring canvas.
Exactly.
One thing you can not do without.
Not do without
Yep.
my family.
Wow. And one thing
And
you can do
when I
without.
say family, it's obviously Siddharth and my parents and
Of course.
then
And
family.
one thing you can do without.
My phone. I'm not a fan of the mobile phone at all.
Okay. And what would you actually say to your teenage self? If you had an opportunity to say something to your teenage self, what would that be?
That you don't have to be thin, you're beautiful just the way you are.
Fantastic. That's really awesome. And two fun facts about you.
That I hate combing my hair. I find it tedious because
Oh my
I
God.
actually have curly hair and it knots up so easily that to comb it it's painful. And
Okay.
the other is that I don't like wearing footwear. So if you
Really?
ask me to walk bare feet all over the world, I would.
All right. And one heirloom you possess.
One heirloom I possess. Um, my mother's jewelry, which has actually been passed on to her from her mother, which
Wow.
probably dates back, yeah.
Oh my God, it must be really beautiful.
It is. It's traditional temple jewelry.
Oh my God, must be fantastic. Wow, that's a lot you've shared with us, Vidya. And
Uh,
I'm now going to take on the questions with our
right.
members. So I'm going to bring you the founder of Wikiflow Bangalore, Shubha Kulkarni. And after that, of course, I took over. But Shubha has a great question for you. So can I
Great.
invite Shubha to ask you a question?
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not able to see all of you because I'm on an
Ruchi,
iPad.
On a gallery
Ruchi, can
view.
you put a spotlight on Shubha?
Yeah, we'll put a spotlight on Shubha.
And if Shubha is not there, Shubha's there. Right.
I can see her now.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Vidya. I'm feeling very pleased, very happy to be the one chosen to ask you a question. I see so many questions and comments about you coming in the chat. It's unbelievable.
Really?
So, yes, so I'm definitely feeling very privileged today. I want to congratulate you on all your work.
Thank
Heartiest
you.
congratulations. To find your own and to be so comfortable in your skin, to find your own self, I really think that's a fantastic gift.
Thank you.
Vidya, you're so talented and you're grounded at the same time. Your choice of roles bring out the brilliance of human spirit in any given life situation. In all the roles you have essayed, you've always left an important message in the society for us to think. Can you share with us what inspires you on a daily basis? And specifically, what inspires you to take certain roles versus others? What would make you not take something on? And what would make you choose something? Tell us that.
I feel that is a beautiful question. What inspires me is just life. I feel like I just don't want to be breathing, until I have breath. I want to live life to the fullest. I want every breath to count. That's what probably inspires me. And you said which?
The roles that you choose, the roles that you choose versus the ones that you probably let go. What are the roles that, and why would you choose the ones you choose?
Roles that I respond to instinctively, like when someone's narrating to me or when I'm reading a script, sometimes I start to see myself in the character that's being offered to me. Then I know that, oh, I want to do this. I definitely want to play this character. But when I don't feel that, even if it's a brilliant script and a brilliant director, brilliant producer, then I won't do it.
If you're not able to relate to the character.
Yeah, instinctively, if I don't feel for the character, I don't feel the character.
Yeah, probably intuitively, huh? Because you said so. I said probably what you mean is intuitively.
Yeah, exactly, intuitively.
That's lovely. I just want to compliment you on your inner beauty as well as your outer beauty.
How sweet! Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thanks, Shubha. Thanks, Shubha. Mammy, next question.
Yes. Vidya, I have a question from our sponsor, Micro Sari Udyog. They want to know that how can you actually inspire the millennials and the young, people to start adopting sari and those fabrics? What do you think we should tell them?
I think, first start celebrating everything that's Indian. I think for the longest time we've wanted to, we've aspired to be Western in everything because we saw Western as progressive and therefore cool. So anything Indian seemed traditional and outdated. But I think when we truly start celebrating our Indianness in every way, I think then, of course, kids are going to find the sari, cool, and they're going to. Though I must say that definitely more people are now wearing saris than they did 5 years ago.
True that. I agree.
Yeah, so I think they're suddenly waking up to how cool a sari can be, how sexy a sari can be, and it's not just, the simple traditional. It's not just a simple traditional garment.
True that. And I also think the government is doing a lot to promote khadi and try and give it a lot of, the Western touch if required, so that everyone can get inspired by it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have Sheetal C. She's our head of the Gourmet Club, and she has a question for you.
Lovely.
Can you put the spotlight on Sheetal, please?
Hi, Vidya.
Hi, Sheetal.
So lovely to hear you, and I can connect on so many levels with you, including the nightmarish curly hair with the knots.
Thank you.
I just want to know what's your relationship with food, and COVID has made a lot of master chefs out of us. Are you a naturally good cook, or has the COVID lockdown brought that out in you? Any favorite dish you cook, or Siddharth's favorite dish that you cook?
No, I've actually always hated the idea of cooking because I felt that cooking meant domestication. Because I'm not sure my mother enjoyed cooking, but she was forced to cook all her life. So I always felt like I definitely don't want to get into the kitchen. That's the first sign of domestication. That's the first, I just didn't enjoy the idea, but I have to say that COVID has changed that because we didn't have much help at home. So the one girl who was cooking day and night, to give her a break, sometimes I'd go into the kitchen. Both Siddharth and I didn't know how to cook. Siddharth still doesn't, but I tried my hand at cooking a little bit, and I realized that it's not tough to cook, it's just tough to cook well. It's not something that comes naturally to me, and I can't claim to have any favorite dishes. But I think, if push comes to shove, I can at least cook up something to get by.
That's lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheetal. We have our member Sunita Ganesh who would like to ask you a question.
Hi.
Hi, Vidya. Very good evening to you. And I'm a great fan of yours.
Thank you.
I deem it my privilege to ask you this question too.
How sweet.
In an industry that is predominantly led by men and who producers bet on, how do you change their focus and define your success? Did you approach your career with a mission to move the focus towards women?
No, not really. I think I'm at the center of my universe. I'm the hero of my piece. Therefore, I think I wanted that even in my work. I think that just got reflected in my work because that was what I was putting out. So I attracted the kind of work where the woman was at the center of, the story. So I think it was also the right timing. There was no strategy to do female-centric cinema or anything like that. But there was this, like I said, I wanted to play substantial roles. And I think the industry was also getting ready to tell women's stories. Audiences were ready to watch women's stories being told. And therefore, one thing led to the other. It was also a matter of timing, I think.
Yeah, and all your choice of films, right from your first film, Parinita, to The Dirty Picture and Kahani, Tumhari Sallu, to Shakuntala Devi and Mission Mangalam, which I really enjoyed the most, and Shakuntala Devi also. The last two movies of yours were Bangalore-centric.
Yes.
How do you feel? Because we all are Bangaloreans, you're addressing Bangalore.
It feels fantastic. Bangalore is one of my favorite cities. I've spent quite a lot of time in Bangalore, of course. I think almost 20 years ago when my sister and brother-in-law lived in Bangalore. So at that time, I was very familiar with Bangalore. I just loved the place, the weather, just how beautiful the city is, just the possibilities, you know, for whatever you wanted to do. You know, great food, great music, a great theater scene, and such beautiful buildings. The structure, some of those structures in Bangalore are gorgeous. So yes, it felt great. I was just, I kept cribbing to my Mission Mangal director, saying, why can't we go to Bangalore and shoot at ISRO? You know, we didn't get the permission, otherwise we would have shot there. That was a missed opportunity.
So Vidya, we have someone in the you know, one of our past chairs. She's very closely related to ISRO. So we've had ISRO events, and that's why, you know, I was telling you, you've done all these Bangalore centric roles.
Yeah, really.
If you want to go to ISRO, we'll get you the connect.
Ah, okay, thank you.
So Vidya, I can see on the chat, everyone's going crazy about your neck piece, your sari, your humility, your honesty. I mean, I can't stop reading the compliments that you're receiving.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much. And everyone's saying, please give her our compliments. So I thought I'd, you know, on behalf of everyone, let me.
I just want to say, this is a sari that Manjari gifted to me. So thank you, Manjari.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It was a birthday gift from Manjari.
We're going to put a spotlight on Roshni. Can we put a spotlight on Roshni to ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you know? Can Ruchi? Can you spot Roshni? They are the sponsors of our event today. Yeah.
Hi, Roshni.
Would like to ask a question?
Hi, Vidya. Hi, Jyotika. Hi, everyone from Flow. It's lovely to have all of you here, and I'm so thankful and grateful that we're talking to Vidya. I think you're so inspiring.
How sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, as millennials, it is so difficult for us to actually inspire other people to understand handlooms or to even have a lot of interest in handlooms, because there's just so much available and so hard to tell the difference between, you know, a handloom and something that's not. And I think just the fact that people like you are wearing them and are carrying them off so well and are, you know, portraying it the way that you all are, it's really inspiring for us.
How sweet. Thank you, Roshni.
Okay, Ruchi, can I have the spotlight on Samprita? She would like
yes,
to ask
Samprita can ask a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Vidya.
Hi.
And let me start off saying that I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
First of all, you're such a South Indian beauty.
Wow. Thank you.
I think you have embraced the femininity so well, and your beautiful smile, and you're such a natural beauty. And you know, one more thing, your laugh is such a contagious thing. Can you please share one beauty secret that all the ladies want to know today? How do you take care of that beautiful hair?
Oh my God.
Of yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your lovely compliments. I actually oil my hair regularly because my head tends to heat up very easily. So at least once or twice a week, I oil my hair. And yeah, that's it. You know, when I'm not shooting, I don't use heat. So I don't use a blow dryer or tong or rollers or nothing, because my hair on a regular basis, otherwise on shoot, goes through a lot of abuse, literally. So that's all I do to take care of my hair.
Wow. And your skin?
Any particular oil?
Particular oil, you know, I use coconut oil, and sometimes if the head's too heaty, castor oil. Also, Nihar Shanti Amla is something I mix because it's got quite a few ingredients. So I think it's just cooling for the system. And I get
thank
a good
you so much
done. And no, thank you. And you've got beautiful skin.
Oh, thank you.
And Namrata, you asked me about my skin.
Yes.
I have
a question. I've got 3 questions on the chat.
Oh, really? I have a lot of water.
Okay.
And again, I don't use makeup at all when I'm not working.
All right.
And I guess just try and stay happy, you know.
Yeah, inside is outside.
Yeah, and smile a lot.
Contagious one, that too. Now, we have Revati now. Can we have Revati for a question?
And Namrita, then we need to ask Parvati.
Okay, great.
I think
Can you put the
Revati
spotlight on
no,
Revati?
I think Revati is not on. I will put.
All right. So can you please spotlight Parvati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Parvati does great work for us in initiatives at Flow Bangalore. She's I think, I don't know, the instrument of God, and goes all out to do fantastic work.
Wow. Hi,
Parvati, over to
Parvati.
you.
Hi, Vidya. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Bangalore, though remotely.
Thank you.
At this time, I want to call upon and give a shout out to all the Tamil movie directors, the entire Tamil movie industry and the Malayalam movie industry, and say, look what we've missed. Literally. Right? So yeah, if there was a way to turn the dial back, I think, Tamil and Malayalam movie industry should definitely do that. And a quick question, Vidya. You did talk a lot about Shakuntala, the movie, and the support you received from the writers, the directors, and so on. But just a little question: as an artist, how different was it to do a biopic on an eminent personality? Did it curtail the creative freedom and liberty that you would have otherwise taken in a fictional character? How different or difficult was it for you?
Yeah, obviously, there's more imagination. When you're playing a fictional character, it calls for more imagination. But when there's a real person you're playing, then in that sense, it curtails your creativity. But I think my effort, whenever I'm playing a real person, is to capture the essence of the person, not to mimic or impersonate. So I think once you capture the essence, then to express that, requires creativity, I guess.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Is there a book in the making, Vidya? Are you looking, seeing yourself writing a book sometime?
No, lots of people have asked me, but I feel their minds to go before I can write a book. And I must say, you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
You know that already, though.
Oh, I do. Thank you so much.
That's great to hear.
Absolutely. And that's not a great way to return a compliment most of the time. When they say you look great, all I say is I know.
That's great.
Thank you, Vidya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Parvati. And Vidya, I think you should start penning down your book today. Start with the first page. You came into the industry and you just conquered it. So imagine if you start writing what you would be able to give everyone. And it's really great for you to share your experiences, your life. It's been sensational. It's been, it's been everything that one would want to know about. So why not? And I have one question: that what do we have in store from Vidya, the powerhouse? What do we have in store now?
So there's a film called Sherni that I was working on when the pandemic hit.
Okay.
So I hope to complete that post the rains, and then that's a film with Amit Masurkar, who directed Newton.
Okay.
So that's very different from Shakuntala Devi. It's a different world. It's set in the jungles. I'm playing a forest officer. So yeah, it's that's what's next. And then I think in a few weeks I'll also know what I'm going to do after that. So fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
Thanks a lot, Nami.
Yeah, and then over to Jyotika now. I think.
Thank you, Namrita. Lovely chatting with you.
It's been fantastic.
Manjari wanted to connect with Vidya.
Yes. Vidya, we are. Manjari would like to say thank you to you for the sari you mentioned.
Hi, Manjari.
Hey, Vidya, how are you?
Good.
So
How are
good
you?
to see that sari. So good to see that sari.
I know, I'm sorry, everyone else, I'm getting a bit personal, but when Aditya messaged me saying Manjari is also with Ficky Flow Bangalore, I decided I'm going to wear this.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And like I've told you before, one person who matches my laugh is you.
I told you, yes, you told me that. God bless.
Thank you for coming to Flow Bangalore. Very, very
My
happy.
pleasure entirely. I've had fun.
Thanks a lot, Vidya. I think
Thank you,
everybody
Jyotika.
is just, I think there's so many questions and the time is running out. And I mean, I think they would just want to hold you back for the whole day, probably.
I wouldn't mind that, Jyotika. But thank you, everyone, for all the compliments, for your generosity, for your love. And stay safe and God bless.
And should we say entertainment, entertainment, entertainment? Thanks a lot, Vidya. We just had a little, actually, our FB Live was not working. So there were a lot of people who were really wanting to have questions here. But I guess we'll have a recording which we'll put out to everybody.
Yes,
And
right.
I'm hoping to have a fabulous session with Siddharth too. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yes. And please ask him that question. Thank you.
Yes, we'll ask him all the questions. We're going to corner him.
Okay.
We'll make
Thank you so much.
Yes, Arshia.